Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Hope you're all well and had a good week. The hat is back. That's because the weather has now gone a little bit colder. It lulled us into a false sense of security, that tiny little bit of spring that wasn't spring. But yeah, it's definitely feels chillier. I think it's because it's been such a damp week, and I know that there's been waterlogged plots elsewhere, and I do feel for you. I've come down here this morning. It is damp, and you walk around a little bit sort of disheartened, thinking, can't really do a great deal because everything's so wet, but to actually have it underwater must be incredibly difficult. So upon arrival at my plot this morning, I did a little pan across to see the other allotments, and my neighbour, actually you might just be able to see there, yes, looks like he's building a bonfire pyre there, and that could be useful when I see him, if I've got anything I need to dispose of. We are allowed bonfires on the site. There are regulations as to when they can be controlled, etc., because our site is completely surrounded by houses, so I can appreciate, people don't want a bonfire burning hours and hours, but I imagine right now it's a bit too damp, but that will be happening at some point. I'm here to just have a little mooch around the plot this morning. I've brought up my kitchen caddy with my kitchen waste, which is something I like to do every week. And yeah, I mean, there's big jobs I need to do, there's structures I want to build, but I keep waiting for that nicer weather when you just feel more impetus to do those things. But yeah, let's see what I can get done anyway. So you will have just seen me line this second bin with some soil sacks just turned inside out. Just sort of helps insulate the compost. Then my battery died, so now quickly plugged in another one, and yeah, I've just moved from this compost bin, the stuff that really needs quite a bit longer to rot down, but this, it's not looking too bad actually. I think with another sort of dig over, my plan is when I removed the little polytunnel last week, I reinstated this decking bed. I'm obviously going to lift the membrane, turn over the soil, and I'm going to need to add quite a bit of compost. So I'll put as much as I can in here. I mean, that will barely touch the surface, but it will help a little bit. Yeah, who knew that compost could be so fascinating? But I've been stood here probably for the last half hour digging down. Thankfully I'm seeing all the little worms, which are all doing their job. And yeah, the bindweed, of course, has found its way in. This whole site is riddled with bindweed. Charles Dowding reckons that if you pull it out enough, it will eventually give up. So I'm banking on that. So the wood that came from the polytunnel base was stored there last week, and I've just spent a little bit of time popping it behind the shed. I've got a pallet here that I use to just store bits and bobs, and yeah, it works out really well actually. I've got garden canes, and I'm sure that would have come in handy at some point. I keep my hose behind there, the umbrella. Just going to sweep up these leaves, and I'm going to call it a day. Back at home, I've done a little bit of seed sowing, which I'm going to share with you, and also my potato setup. Quite a few potatoes, but I'll share that with you now. So something else that's happening at home is chitting the potatoes. Now, I may have got a bit overexcited when choosing varieties. There is a mix here of first earlies and main crop, and so the varieties I went for, after quite a lot of deliberation, was Kestrel, Swift, Sarpomira, Charlotte, and the International Kidney, which I believe are like the Jersey Royals. Not all of them are the best size, which I think happens when you order like a mixed bag, but going forwards, hopefully I can save my own as seed potatoes. My plan is to do what I did at the tail end of last year, planting them into pots, which turned out to be really successful. So I've ordered extra pots because yes, I did overbuy, I think, here. It's just so hard to choose which ones. They all look so exciting. So my little seed setup here, and not all of these were planted at the same time, but we're doing okay. There's aubergines there, and here are the sweet peppers, California Wonder, and then here are the mini chocolate peppers. First time I've used one of these sort of heated systems. Not so good on this one, although this one I only planted 5th of February, and this is another pepper. Might help if I said the name. Let's have a look. Can't quite see. Asti Red. So that's that one. And then this last one, oh yeah, so this is the beetroot, Cylindra. I could be a bit early planting this. I do love beetroot, and read that Cylindra variety is really good if you're pickling because it creates like nice slices, although I do particularly like roasted beetroot. And round here onto my other windowsill. Oh, this is Pixel. And here I've got the sweet peas. Yeah, they're looking quite leggy. I think they needed a little bit more light. But it's the first time I've grown them in these long root trainers. And outside, I don't know if you can see through there, all the bulbs are doing really well in my little bit under my shed. So again, that's it for another week. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're all going to have a great week ahead of you, and let's hope less rain, a little bit of warmth. Come on, let's have that hint of spring again. Take care, everyone.